O'Brien.
Good afternoon, folks. Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN. Thanks for joining me for the final hour of the trading day, and we got quite a day right now. S&P's off by 1.2%. We take a look at the charts. Let's kick it off. Down by 1.15%, right where we are, where we were at about 1230. So we've been chopping around about a 20-point trading range from 6780 to 6800. We'll see what the final hour holds, but markets under pressure. We'll take a look at the banks in a moment. Dow off by almost 1,100 points. Goldman Sachs getting hammered by almost 5%. That's $1,000 equity. Crude pushing above 81 bucks. Let's go through it all. NASDAQ 100. Talk about a meltdown, man. Now, remarkably, we still haven't taken out. Yesterday was quite the day. You're looking at a daily basis where we have remarkable volatility. And yesterday, you do about 591,000 contracts in the NASDAQ. You jump over the Qs. Yesterday, about 71 million shares. We've done 72 million already. So I don't think we're going to get to a number of 97 million, but it's going to be a big day. We have the final hour. You got volume on the close right now. The Q's off by 1%. S&P's off by 1.1%. The Dow, as I mentioned. Look at this Dow rolling over, okay? You're making lows you haven't seen since December 10th today in the Dow. So much for the 50,000 hat. 50,611 was the high. Boom. 3,000 points. Just like that. 6% off of the highs almost. We're trading at 47,808. And as I mentioned on that Dow, you take a look at the Dow, some of the biggest equities out there. How about Goldman? We'll take a look at the banks in a moment, man. The banks are getting hammered. Goldman off by 5%. It's an $823 stock. Caterpillar, a $700 stock, down 5%. Okay, Johnson & Johnson off by 3%. Merck, only $100 equity. Not going to hit the market when you're talking about a price-weighted index like the Dow. But yeah, how about Goldman and Caterpillar alone? Those two equities, remarkable. You got Home Depot off by 2.2%. All right, take a look at the S&P 500. The software equities that have been getting hammered. You get Salesforce up by 5% right now. Intuit up by 7%. ServiceNow up by 6.3%. As I mentioned, how about the financials, right? Morgan Stanley off by 4% and NVIDIA off by 1.3%. Okay, we jump over to yields. So quite a pop in yields. We opened Sunday night at 3.95%, 4.15%, 4.15%. In that 10-year, and yeah, we're getting a little bit of an acceleration. We're at highs we haven't seen in the last 2.5 hours, and we'll see if we can break above this area right now. S&P's, same thing. You're breaking out of this consolidation. We got a little bit of buying. See that volume uptick? These are 5-minute bars. We'll put it on the 10-minute, and yeah, right at 3 o'clock. Look at that buying. You do 60,000 contracts. You break away from the lows. We'll see if we can get some action going, but you have a little bit of buying. Well, let me go back. Yeah. That's a nice spike in volume. We'll see if we can get some follow-through. So we get the 10-year at 4.15%. It's going to be quite a problem if we're dealing with higher yield. We're going to get to crude. That's a big story right now. Dollar at 99.15 and crude. Now, I don't know what just happened if something happened at 3 o'clock, but crude tanked $2. The market's rejoiced, and it is a headline-driven market right now. That's a 5-minute, 10-minute bar. You take a look at the 5-minute. Yeah, right at 3 o'clock. Same deal. So you have crude. They're selling crude. They're buying equities. And we'll see if we get slight easing of tensions. And gold down 53 bucks off 1%. But boy, the equities are getting hammered today, folks. And silver off by 1.7%. But boy, some of these equities, even the best equities out there. You got wheat and precious metal. You're down by 5% right now. And those silver stocks, man, 10, 11%. First Majestic down by 10%. Hecla down by 6%. You're trading prices in Hecla that were almost back to where we were trading on December 11th. And Endeavor, yeah, down 8.6%. The XAU, as I mentioned, down about 6%. All right, you jump over to some other metals. You got platinum down about 35 bucks or 1.6%, and copper. Let's check out the copper stocks. Yeah, everything's getting hit right now in this metals market, man. Southern Copper, you're down by 8%. Freeport McMoran down by 6%. You go over uranium, you're down by 6%. Look at this, right? No hiding right now in that commodity, whether you're talking about gold, silver, uranium, platinum, metals, period. And we'll see if that's, this dollar, if we really get a change of tune here in terms of the strength in this dollar, man, that was quite an acceleration we got going this week on a daily. And take a look at this dollar we got on a weekly. We've rejected that same price area that we were at on January 12th, that is. January 19th, the week of. But I don't know, the way metals are behaving right now, we got king dollar action. We're back above 99. All right, let's check out these software companies. I was talking about Salesforce earlier, so check this out. Salesforce, man, you're up by $9 today. You're up by 4.6%. Their earnings were last week, and you got a nice bullish engulfing. You take out the last 2 weeks. You do it on as much volume as almost the 2 weeks combined. Not quite, but you do 95 million, taking out 43 and 73. Now, we're not going to get that type of volume follow through this week. We're at 47 million, but we got action. You go down to a daily on Salesforce. Yeah, that's some decent volume, but you're going into these highs. All right, we're going to take these out on lighter volume on a daily, but you get some nice strength off the bottom here in Salesforce. And maybe these software companies, as the market's taking a hit right now, some of the market's saying, you know what, maybe it's not a max pain situation like they've been penalized. And boy, let's take a look at these banks, because yeah, you talk about a rollover, man. So this is Goldman. Goldman was just approaching $1,000. You're at $829, man. You're down almost 17% from where we were this calendar year. And you got some volume. Look at this selling. That was a shortened trading week, the week of the 16th. We're at 11 million right now. Goldman down by 4.3%. Morgan Stanley down by 3.5%. Citi's off by 2.4%. You don't want to see the banks in trouble. All right, folks, stay tuned. S&P's off by 65. We'll come right back.